It's definitely enough to replace this. And I don't know if I told you this. So she's sitting over there in a broke down lazy boy, sliding an old church chair over in front of her with a pillow in it to put her feet on. And I cannot for the life of me get her to go let me buy her a new recliner. I said, Ruth, I'd be ashamed of myself sitting on all that money. And her words to me is, I just want to make sure there's something there when I'm gone. Were you kidding me? What does it matter? Celebrate now. Rest. And the reason we struggle so much with that is this, and I believe this applies to my grandmother, it applies to me, I know in my family, is we have a weak view of God. Good for the ground, it was good agriculturally, right? It was good, whatever that fancy word is, because the ground could replenish its own nutrients. So now we have to add chemicals to our stuff we buy in the store because we've stripped the land of all of its nutrients, like vitamin B and other vitamins. Anyway, you don't care about that, but it was good. It was good to rest. But the problem we have is we don't trust him, and we don't walk by faith and say that God, okay, you're going to provide this. And so it leads us to a place of cynicism, which is anti-celebration. Here, listen to me. Hey, band, won't you come? Come on, so you can play me down. Be still, though, everybody else. You really just don't realize how important it is to you. I read, I may not appear to be the brightest bulb in the room or the nicest book on the shelf, but I'm smarter than I look because of study. And so I was reading an article in lieu of this message about joy. And it's written by a Christian. Listen to me when I say this, please, because I'm not done. They're going to get in place because this is how we're going to end the sermon and our time together this morning. So I did announcements up front. Was a Christian neurobiologist. You with me? Okay? And in his article, I wrote some of it down here, typed it in here in my iPad so that I wouldn't get it. He says that most of the brain's development, listen to me, most of the brain's development slows and stops through childhood. But there's one area of the brain, now listen to me, I have no idea what this means, right? It is the right orbital prefrontal cortex. So I'm thinking it's in the right and in the front. That's all I know, right? Because I'm just a country preacher. But there's an area of the brain that has the ability to continue to develop throughout your life. Now, has the abilities to catch in that. Because I'm thinking, oh, I can get smarter? Yeah. Nope, it has nothing to do with that, okay? Listen to it. This area of the brain, this neurobiologists and their team, this area of the brain, it regulates emotions and helps us act like ourselves. Some of y'all definitely not using it, right? It helps to regulate our emotions and helps us act like ourselves. You know what they call that area? This is what got me about the article. You know what they call that area of the brain? Because I know you've read your latest Christian Science magazine. They call that the joy center of your brain. And I thought, how about that? That as you grow, your brain stops developing at a certain point. It's just natural in nature. It's not anything bad or good. It's just a part of the process. But they've discovered that one area of the brain, and that area of that region of the cortex that it continues, has the ability to continue to develop all your life, and they call it the joy center. Now listen to me. Without, and I just cut out part of the, because I'm gonna bore you with the whole thing. But without, they've discovered, but without sufficient joy strength, you'll end up spending your entire life trying to feel that deficit. Feel, not touch feel, F-I. Spend your whole life trying to, in that moment, because this is the part of the brain that releases dopamine and serotonin and all that good stuff. You're probably familiar with some of those words, right? I take my melatonin every night, you know what I mean? Okay, right? So, but these are the places that the brain releases those things. So we try to do things that would increase that, or take things Sometimes not things that are prescribed, but illegal things. Or we try to have extra relationships, or we try to do crazy things so we can release that part and exercise that strength, because you'll try to fill that deficit, but you can only really grow it and continue to develop it through celebration and joy, according to the neurobiologists. It's like any muscle in your body. Without adequate strength training, it absolutely does not grow or develop anymore. And so the practice of celebration strengthens this part of our brain. He said in the article that we have to practice celebrating. That we should practice joy in our life, joy that results in celebration. And here's what it was interesting, that listen, once you do that, it will absolutely change the entire outlook of your day or your life. About this in the article is that it was laugh with them, right? It's just contagious to be joy. Like, I'm happy for you. I got joy over that. Now listen to me. I'll make some of you upset. I'm not talking about what I'm calling Hallmark happiness, where everything, even in different circumstances, ends the same way. Even my 90-year-old grandmother just had this comment yesterday. She said, you know, Linda and I, she calls her Linda and I was talking, and these Christmas Hallmark movies, doggone, they end about all the same. Like, they sure are. I'm not talking about Hallmark happiness that's going to end. I'm talking about an unshakable joy that never ends. Because you've repented and released, and you're resting in the fact that God came and is coming again to save you and set you free. And it didn't matter if all four tires go flat, or the starter don't work, or whatever happens in our lives, or we live on this side or that side. I got a joy they can't take or touch. I don't care their cynicism. I don't care their criticism. I got a joy that you can't take away. That's what he's talking about. That's what he brought. Problem is, we don't exercise it enough. We don't celebrate enough. We look for big things, and he says, man, be really cautious in particular and pay particular attention to the small things in your life. Over and over throughout the Bible. And so, I told you it makes sense to tell you what the word Jubilee means. So Jubilee in Hebrew, the word literally means ram's horn. So this morning, I want you to stand with me, please. This morning, I've asked Corey, Pastor Corey, I've asked him, when we haven't done this in a long time, it's been a minute since we've done it, and it come to me this morning, and while I was downstairs in my study, it come to me, I've looked at it for weeks on top of the piano here, on our old upright. And so God began to speak to me this morning and said, listen, have him blow the shofar horn, or the ram's horn, or the Jubilee horn, right? And this is how the year of Jubilee was signified. This is the coming of celebration, the coming of repentance and release and rest and freedom and rejoicing in what God had brought. This is how everybody would know. This is biblical. Everybody would know, because they would hear the horn blast, and everybody would know that the year of Jubilee, or the season of Jubilee on the 50th year, was starting. And so what I asked him to do, he's going to blow it 3 times, okay? And I don't care if you got to fake it, because some of you are going to have to fake it. But I want you to exercise that right frontal cortex of your brain, that joy center. And I want you, after the 3rd blast, I want you to give me the greatest, craziest celebration you have let out in a minute, okay? I want you to let it go. I want you to laugh. I want you to clap. I want you to shout. Some of you are already feeling weird, like, is this a Pentecostal church? No. Since he's a non-denomination, he really had to put us down to something probably more Baptist than anything else, but that's just because of my education and training. No, we're just a church. It's biblical. It's Christmas time. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about what God's doing. I'm excited about what God's going to do. And even in spite of my aches and my pains and my failures and my mistakes and the sin, I'm excited, and I want to celebrate. And I don't want to just get excited and celebrate over a football game or a turkey leg or a present that Sandra gets me or the kids give me. I don't want to just get excited over that. I want a joy that's unshakable, that's constant, that's been brought by God himself, because in the very fiber of his being, he is a joyous and celebratory God. And I am made in his image. So after the third blast, I just want you to get a little crazy. Now you might need a little space, okay? Because we got some a little wild in here. I can already hear BK. I know Jimmy over there. Be careful, okay? Hey, Corey, will you blast that horn? After the third one, I want you to celebrate. After we sing this song, we'll dismiss you, and I pray that you have an incredible season of Jubilee. I pray that this morning marks the start of something that's far greater coming down the road than anything we're leaving behind as we're coming from Christmas and ending up another year. God will truly be excited and celebrate over our lives. Hey, Pastor Dad, will you lead us sing really loud and proud? And let's rejoice in the Lord. Let's praise Him this morning. We do that.
Let praise be a weapon that conquers all anxiety, and let it rise. Let praise arise. We sing your name in the dark and it changes everything. We sing with all we are and we claim your victory, and we let it rise. See you break down every wall. We'll watch the giants fall. Fear cannot survive when we praise you. The God of breakthroughs on our side, forever lifting high. With all creation cry, God, we praise you. Oh, we praise you. We'll
God bless you, all right? See you. Have a good day, okay?